Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you another stitch pattern. It's a super easy stitch pattern, so I hope you like it. Now, the yarn that I'm going to be using for this stitch is this yarn here. This is Premier Puzzle. This is a number 5 yarn, and I'll be using this 6mm crochet hook. Remember that you can use any yarn weight with any hook size. The important thing is the stitch multiple. The stitch multiple to this pattern stitch is multiples of 6 plus 1. So here, to begin, the first thing that we need to do is we need to make our chain. I'm going to make a slip knot, insert your hook through this slip knot here, and chain 24. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 chains. Here's my stitch multiples of 6 plus 1. So I'm going to add 1 extra chain. So now I have 25 chains. Now this is going to be our base row. So here all I'm going to do is into the second chain from the hook, make a single crochet. Single crochet into the next chain, single crochet into the next, and so on. This is all I'm going to do, just single crochets. Now at the end of this row, I'm going to have 24 single crochets. Continue, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I finished making this row of single crochets. I have a total of 24 single crochets. Now for the first row to this pattern, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now into the third single crochet, counting from the beginning, 1, 2, 3, into this third single crochet here, make a V-stitch. Each one of these V-stitches is going to consist of a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Now, if you prefer, you can also just chain 1 here, and that way the stitch is going to be a bit more tighter. Now skip 1, 2, and into the third we're going to make a puff stitch. To make a puff stitch, yarn over, insert your hook, grab a loop, yarn over, grab a loop, yarn over, grab a loop, yarn over, grab a loop. In total, we did this 4 times. I have 9 loops on the hook. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Now grab a loop and close your puff stitch, chain 1. Now skip 1, 2, and into the third, make a V-stitch. Skip 1, 2, and into the third, make a puff stitch. Close, chain 1, skip 1, 2, and into the third single crochet, make a V-stitch. And this is how you're going to continue for this first row. You just make a V-stitch and then a puff stitch. So skip 1, 2, and into the third, make a puff stitch now. Nine loops, close, chain 1, skip 1, 2, and into the third, make a V-stitch. Now here at the end, we're going to be left with 3 single crochets. Into the last single crochet, make a double crochet. And here is the first row, and that's what it looks like. Now your chain is going to be longer, but the sequence is going to be the same. You just make a V-stitch, then skip 2 single crochets and then a puff stitch. Skip 2 single crochets and then make the V-stitch. That's how you're going to continue if you're making a baby blanket. That's your sequence. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now in this second row, if you notice, we have our V-stitch. Inside each one of the V-stitches, we're going to make puff stitches. And on top of each one of the puff stitches, we're going to make V-stitches. So let me show you. Here, this second row, I have to start with a puff stitch. So yarn over, grab a loop, yarn over, grab a loop, yarn over, grab a loop, yarn over, grab a loop. 9 loops on the hook, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, close, chain 1. Now we have the puff stitch. On top of the puff stitch, right here where we have the chain, make a V-stitch. And now we have the V-stitch, so make a puff stitch. So yarn over, grab a loop, yarn over, grab a loop, yarn over, grab a loop. 9 loops, close, chain 1. And on top of the puff stitch, make a V-stitch. That's all we do for the rest of this second row. Very easy pattern and absolutely beautiful. Nine loops, close, chain 1. Now make sure that when you do these loops, they're nice and loose so that when we close our puff stitch, your hook doesn't get caught in any of the loops. Again, we have the puff stitch, so make a V-stitch. And a puff stitch. Nine loops, close, chain 1, and here at the end we have 3 chains into the second chain. Insert your hook and make a double crochet. And here is the second row, and that's what it looks like. Now for the third row, chain 3 and turn. Now in this row we're going to repeat the same thing, but notice how we have a puff stitch here at the beginning. So we're going to start this row with a V-stitch. So make a V-stitch on top of this puff stitch. And then into the chain space of the V-stitch, make your puff stitch. 9 loops, close, chain 1, and then a V-stitch on top of the puff stitch. And that's all we're going to do for the rest of this row. So let me finish this row and then I'll show you again how to finish first and then how to start each row. 9 loops, close, chain 1, and V-stitch. Nine loops, close, chain 1, and finish here the row with a V-stitch. Now to finish into the second chain here at the end, insert your hook and make a double crochet. And that's what it looks like. Absolutely beautiful. I actually like this yarn here. I think I mentioned at the beginning that it's this one here. It's Premier Puzzle. Let's see, this is in the color Cat's Cradle. It's a number 5 yarn. Now for the fourth row, chain 3 and turn. And here to start this row, we have a V-stitch, so we're going to start the row by making a puff stitch. And that's all we're going to do. So continue like this, finish this row. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple more rows here so that you can see how it looks. Okay, I finished making a couple more rows. This is what it looks like. This is the other side. It's a reversible stitch. Now I went ahead and did another little sample for you all. This one here I did using a 4mm hook with number 3 yarn, and here in the V stitches I did not chain 2, I only chained 1, and as you can see the stitch is a bit more tighter, and that's what it looks like. So you can do the same thing here. If you want to use thicker yarn, just chain 1, and then that way you can make a beautiful baby blanket. I love this stitch. So I hope you like it as well. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.